Hey everyone, have you started a project or you come across a project perhaps online or someone else told you about this specific investing strategy? It makes you a lot of money, good profit, good revenue, and you look at it, it'd be like, this is a green, this is how come no one doing it, it looks good. So you start jumping on it, you start working into that investing strategy, and just to find out there are some issue, you start discovering the problems with it, and then these problems really become a complex problems that might be hard to solve. So you might quit that project or that investing strategy and try to find another investing strategy, or you might overcome those problems, solve them, and reach the mastery for this project or that investing strategy. And you get to repeat and repeat that investing and reap the benefit of this investing strategy. Hey everyone, my name is Waleed Yousif. I'm a real estate investor here in the Valley. We started about 5 years ago investing in real estate. First we started with assigning and wholesaling real estate, then we started doing some flip as well as acquiring properties as subject to and sell them as owner financing here in the Valley. I really wanted to share with you the 5-step process, the mastery that we look into. Any investing strategy that we look into, whether that's wholesaling, whether that's an investing into flips, whether that's a rental or owner finance subject to, then we are going to look into the 5 steps, where we are in those steps to see how far we are from the mastery, because that's our goal. When we start the investing strategy, we're trying to see when can we get to master, so we get to repeat and repeat this strategy. Now, I do see a lot of people in this business, in real estate business, when they would start perhaps wholesaling, they would start flipping, and just after a couple months, I see them really discover, and because of maybe problems they acquired or challenges that they come across and they didn't overcome these challenges. I had to have that experience as well. I went into a couple years ago, I went into trying to wholesale a commercial, just jump into it without really knowing anything, and really you will see where it gets hard, and I quit and didn't do that and just came back to just doing a residential investing. So it does happen, and we now, because we have gone through it over and over, now we understand this is something that we look for, because once you master that strategy, now you get to repeat and the benefit, because now you master, you may move to another investing strategy and you go through the loop again. So this is the loop. This is what I look for every strategy, any investing strategy I get involved with. I try to see where we are in this loop, which step we are, and how long it's gonna take us to get to the end of this loop. We have a timeline for it, and that could be short timeline, that could be long timeline for us to reach to the end of the loop. We will go over these steps one by one, and we'll show you these steps. Now, give credit when credit is due. I get this loop from Alex Hormozi, and shout out to Alex Hormozi for showing us this loop and these steps. So the first step is the uninformed optimism, and this is where really start. This is when you find about this strategy. This is where someone else tell you about the benefit of this strategy. This is where everything's green. This is where basically you get the attention, or they get you to be interested in that investing strategy. So you look to it, it looks good, or the grass is green, everything looks good, so you're looking really for the benefit. This is the dopamine that it gets into the great we make good profit, we make good money, easy, everything would go well with this investing strategy. And this is where it started. This is basically, you're looking for the positive part of it only. Now, after you spend some time in uninformed optimism, you get to jump on the project or jump on the investing strategy that you are going to work on. And with some time, again, with the timeline, you spend some time into that investing strategy, and now you start discovering things that no one told you about, right? Which we called informed pessimism, right? So this is the thing that really no one told you about. Didn't show in here. It wasn't showing. That's not what they told you. That's not what it showed on, on the post or when you got the attention of it, because now you start, getting some issue. Now you're discovering some, spots on that investing strategy that you weren't aware of it, and now you are aware of these investing strategy or that projects that you are working on. Now, an example of this informed pessimism would be, for example, if you are starting a wholesale business or you're trying to wholesale a real estate, then you will get to this one when you go into really getting into the list, scrubbing that list, skip tracing, reaching out to seller, find out, a lot of sellers majority of them would say no to your offers. You have to make a lot of offers. You have to go through these offers. You have to build relationship with other investors. And now it's like, well, I didn't know that. This is getting harder. I thought I can just get the property under contract and sell it and make a profit, and that's simple. This is the moment where you discover that there are more into it, so you have to make it work. This is the thing that, again, you have to work on the list, you have to work on managing the leads, you have to work with the system, you have to do the process. So those start really discovering, and if you're starting by yourself, so this is all you. So this is all that you will be having to work on and discover those issues or those elements with that project or with that business. Now, once we get from the informed pessimism, now it gets even worse. It gets more complex. It gets ugly. It gets dark. It gets really problems. It gets really complex problems in here, and that's where the valley of despair, right? This is the thing. This is where you either going to overcome that or you would basically quit. Now, majority of people would quit right here. Majority of people where I see, they quit right here and then they basically go back and they start another strategy, Airbnb. Let's do flip, let's do buy and hold, let's do something else, let's do Gator, let's do something else, right? And they go basically again here, and then it goes again to the same loop. I'm gonna find uninformed optimism. Oh, that's a green something else, green probably somewhere else or a different project. Then they go back again, and then now it's the valley of despair again. They hit the road and then they go back. Now, again, this is the problem here. It gets really ugly here. It gets really complex. It looks that as of it's not working. It looks that this is, that's the doubt here. That's a lot of doubting that you would start getting, right? If that would work, if you can do it, do you have the people? Can you overcome these challenges? And these are really the problems that you will face in this section. Now, for me, I call this really the 80%. So this is, for me, is literally the 80%. So imagine that whatever you've gone through, it's literally you are at 80%. When you reach to those really complex issue. And you gotta be aware you're not here, not like just small issue. I'm talking about really complex problems, something that it looks there's no way to go out of it. I'll give you an example of when I started wholesaling real estate. I come across strategy where we reach to people in foreclosure. So people would it was great. It was making a great idea that, well, when I was in uninformed optimism here, well, of course the foreclosure, they would need to sell because they would lose the home and there's nowhere for them to go but they to sell the home and find another home would be like a huge amount, or there is a huge liens, and that's when it gets really complex here. There is no way to go, there is a bunch of lien, there is people who's dead that we can't find them, the property is really getting to foreclose 2 days from now or a day from now. What do we do? And it gets really complex, it gets really ugly, it gets really dark with that, okay, I can't do this anymore, this is not working. And really, that's where later we find out about, we learn more about the foreclosure. Now we really master this. I would say we're at least one of the top 5 people here in the Valley who really can handle foreclosure. Again, we have seen many situations with probate, with liens, with judgment, with problems with the bank, with problems with the families. So we really have seen all that, and we were able to overcome these challenges. Now, when we are here in the Valley, where we are at 80%, problems that becoming really more complex, we're not able to solve these problems. It doesn't look there's any solution to it. And it's really just as we work on it, as we solve these problems, solve these challenges, we start getting more familiar with it. We start getting really more into the mechanic of it. We understand something that we really didn't know before. So we are more into informed. We know the mechanics. We know what's going on. And it's a small shift that sometimes what happens, sometimes it comes from you discovering that, or sometimes like someone else discover this. Someone else bring it to your attention, and that's really would be like the aha moment. Oh, I can figure it out. Okay, it's accomplished, but with the small shift, this is literally, again, this is 90%, a 10%, literally a 10% shift, and you are in informed optimism. This is where you'll be like, oh, I can see how that could work. I could see how that would make sense. Now we're really, as you can see, we're 90%. We go through the issue. We already went through the valley. We went through the problems, and now we are at the informed. We have the ability to see how we solve these problems. We have the ability to overcome these challenges because we know what it takes to do it. After that, after we know the mechanic and the ability to solve these problems, to see how we can provide value and how we can overcome these challenges, it takes literally no time. It takes small time, small effort to go into the achievement. Again, this is literally another 10% and we'll be achieving that project or that investing strategy that we started. And from there, it's really where we start from us repeating, perfecting, and documenting, doing the process for it. Because now, once we reach the achievement, are informed about really how the mechanic works, we're informed about it, we're informed about the optimism, and we know what it takes to solve this problem. We can help other people. Let's say for here in the Valley, we help a lot of investors as well who have problems with lien, judgment, property that they can solve. So we do help that because we're able to go through this these steps and overcome these steps and reach to the achievement. We have to take into consideration really something we didn't talk about, which is the timeline. Now, this is really important. It's really very important from here to here, that the timeline. How long is it going to take for that? Now, it does take time because you need that experience. However, what we see that, for example, for us, because we have gone through it, we know the answer. So if we're able to help another investor who's here, we can work with them and have them to overcome these challenges and get to the achievement faster. Now, they still have to really understand the mechanic. They still have to solve these problems. However, the guideline, it would make the timeline shorter, and this is very important. Now, we didn't really realize that until we had to go through the whole thing, and we figured, well, that timeline and that loop, it could really be shortened, and we're able to try another strategy for that. So the timeline is very important. Of course, if you try it by yourself, it's gonna take you a longer time. However, if you try it with someone who have already tried it, then you're able to shorten that timeline. Now, we have helped many investors here in the Valley, so if you're an investor here in the Valley, feel free to reach us. We have worked with many to help them buy fix and flip, buy and hold investment, or even own or finance properties. So feel free to reach us. We have multiple properties, or also we can help you with complex issues that you may have on deals that you're working on, whether that's there's foreclosure, there's judgment, there's lien. So we have worked on many of these challenges, and we'll be happy to help you and provide value for your deal. So if you could also please like and subscribe to the channel, greatly appreciated. That would help the channel, and we can be able to provide more value to you in investing. So until next time, happy investing. This is Waleed Yousif. Take care.